Hello, guys. Good evening. Okay, I'll wait for some time for some of our members to join. Now, wait for another 20 30 seconds and then we'll start with the session. Okay, so guys, welcome to today's session. आज का session that we are holding is a general discussion that we'll do on the coming few weeks. In the past week, we covered the basic starting of our course that we are doing with our group on WhatsApp. In that, we've covered two chapters in geography, two from modern history, three from quality, and some basics of banking. Then we held a mock test uh, for which the results would be announced tomorrow and the answers would also be discussed. And then now we're going to see what we have to do in the second week that is starting from 8th of April. Okay, so I'll quickly go ahead and first of all discuss with you what we are supposed to discuss in this coming week. So, we'll be covering Indian geography, environment, modern history, and polity. So, in this week, we are going to go very rigorous on the syllabus coverage. We have to cover the syllabus by the end by the second week of May, so that we have ample time to cover other aspects of the syllabus as well. And guys, I know that I've not been able to cover the current affairs with you all, but I request you to kindly read the monthly compilation instead of the yearly compilations that are available in the market selling under various names. Guys, like I've seen how they are being made. They do not really cover each and every aspect of the current affairs that we should do. Ideally, we should be reading newspaper on daily basis. If able to make notes, then it's good. Otherwise, we should refer to some monthly magazines, right? So your revision strategy should be such that you're covering the monthly current affairs magazine of any of the magazines that are available. Okay, you can also refer to our magazine, the Saksham IS monthly current affairs magazine. Okay, along with that, now I'll just quickly go through this, the course that we're covering. So in this week, we are going to cover drainage system and the climate, Indian climate, under which we'll be covering NCRTs for 11th standard Indian Indian geography, and also the 9th standard NCRT. Along with that, guys, we'll be covering environment. So environment is one subject which is correlated to geography, right? But we have certain chapters, some basic environment terminologies and topics that we need to do. For that, I have given you a list of chapters that we need to cover from NCRT. It's a 12th standard biology NCRT in which we need to cover unit 10, which includes chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16. So you just have to read through, understand those topics, and then usually the questions are asked straight away from that also. Okay, then the next topic for 10th of April is modern history, in which we'll be covering the period from the entrance of the European powers till the uh, 1857 revolt. Okay, so that will be covered on the 10th of April, right? We'll do the discussion. Guys, I was also thinking that instead of holding WhatsApp sessions, right, WhatsApp can be, kept for discussing. smaller topics like we can keep WhatsApp or putting our doubts, which you guys want me to discuss over the session. And I guess the sessions are a better option wherein I can hold this session. You can send me live chats, and it's easier and time consuming because typing takes a lot of time. I can share the presentation with you guys in the WhatsApp group itself. But if we go through like the whole chapter typing, because going ahead we have a lot of chapters to cover, and if we stay on WhatsApp discussing it through typing, then it's going to take a whole day of it. So instead of that, we'll be doing these sessions now live, which I would like you all to join at 9 o'clock. Or if you want, we can also prepone the session at 8, whichever is fine. I would take your suggestions. You can leave those suggestions in the group, or you can send me personal message. Okay. For quality, we've kept 2 consecutive days for 11th and 12th of April. In that, we'll be covering from preamble till DPSPs, Directive Principle for State Policies. So the topics would be preamble, unions, territories, citizenship, fundamental rights till Article 19. That will be for the 11th of April. And then remaining fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and DPSPs for next day, that is the 12th of April. Then again on 13, we're going to take Indian geography, in which we'll be doing chapter 5 and 6 of 11th NCRT. That includes forest and natural resources and soil. And chapter 5th from 9th NCRT, and chapter 6 from 7th NCRT. So that should cover the whole gamut of forests. So this is also going to help you guys in environment. So please do not miss out on these things. Kindly, read through these chapters. Then we'll be holding another mock test on 14th of April, which will include questions from these topics. Right? We will try to cover as much as possible. Then from 15th, the next week, we'll again take up with Indian geography. In that, we'll be doing chapter 7, that is the last chapter of the 11th NCRT, that includes natural disasters, etc. topics. And we will start with physical geography on that day itself. But I will announce the chapters on the 14th, the last day on which we'll hold a mock test. Then on 16 in environment, we'll be doing one chapter from the chemistry book of 11th standard, that is unit 11, and other topics which are related to pollution. So these topics would also be communicated then and there, before the sessions are conducted. Then in modern history, we'll be covering social religious reforms on Rajiv Ahir and Bipin Chandra, and the economic impact of British rule. After that, there will be 3 sessions more of the modern history that will be conducted, in which we'll be covering various phases of the Indian freedom struggle. In polity, then again, we have 2 consecutive days in which we'll be covering amendment, basic structure, parliamentary system, federal system, emergency provision, center-state relations, and interstate relations. So that covers about 2 to 3 units of our book, the M. Lakshmikant, that we guys are following. Then on 20th, we'll be again covering the physical geography, in which we'll be doing geomorphology from GCL, that's Goche Leong, and NCRT 11th standard book, the physical geography. And then there'll be a mock test on the 21st of April 2019. So that's about the timetable for the next week that will be held. Along with that, guys, one thing that I've been asked repeatedly is how to cover the current affairs. That is actually the most important part of our preparation strategy. See, guys, some people have been telling me that we are covering current affairs from various coaching magazines. They've been doing certain things, but guys, we need to ensure that whatever current affairs we are referring to, that has to be based on the issue. So we should be aware of the issue rather than the news. UPSC would not ask you who was the prime minister, what happened on what day, or who did that and who did what. We are going to be asked questions based on the fact, on the the issue, the main issue. Let's just take an example. The session, let's take, like, if there's a news about the collegium, so it is not going to ask who passed the judgment, who was the chief justice at that time, but it is going to ask you what the collegium system was and how it came into existence, and what is the system in India, or maybe it can ask any question on Supreme Court or the appointment of judges. So you need to be prepared in that way. So you need to be aware of the topic rather than the news. So you prepare current affairs from the point of view of issues, not the news. Okay. Secondly, there was also, I got a query asking which magazine should we refer to. So it is upon you which magazine you find is good. I would not personally suggest anything. I would just suggest you to read current affairs from the newspaper. You should read daily newspaper. That is your first go-to thing, right? And with that, you should also, along with that, you should take up any of the current affairs magazine. Uh, uh, from any of the institutes. You can also take Saksham IS Current Affairs magazine. You need to go through the news and everything, whichever topic is discussed, and you should know it. And what is going on around you, you should be aware. That's all the paper is about. It says general studies, and you need to be aware about the national and international happenings around you. Okay, that's how it is going to work. Like, I'll just give you a small brief. I'm not trying to criticize any one institute or any of their strategies, but that was yearly compilation was introduced for the first time, I think, in 2016, when, and the paper actually comprised of about 60 to 70% of current affairs questions. Students who did these current affairs, they managed to clear it, right? But the next year again, similar thing happened, and yearly compilations were released by many institutes and everything, but students solely relied on them, and the paper was something very different which was not expected. So in order to save yourself from situations like that, you need to ensure that you're reading the current affairs on daily basis, right? तो करंट अफेयर्स का ये रहेगा हमारा स्ट्रैटेजी कि आपको डेली बेसिस पे पढ़ने हैं, और अगर अब रिवीजन भी करनी है आपको, तो यू नीड टू फॉलो something, you need to follow one of the monthly compilations, right? You go through 2018 January, February, March, April thing very casually, and then from April you start covering the current affairs very nicely till April 2019 or May 2nd. So you need to cover in that ways, cover the monthly compilations instead of going for a yearly compilation by any of the institutes blindly. Don't follow anything blindly. Okay. uh, that was one thing that was being asked. Okay, now guys, I have one more thing to discuss with you. As we are conducting these mock tests, they are for your betterment. They are for you to attempt. We guys prepare them free of cost for you to enhance your preparation level. But I see that most of the members of our group are not attempting to it. So, guys, are these daily discussions, daily sessions, your counseling, they are not going to help you until and unless you are attempting questions and seeing analyzing your performance where you are lacking. So, I am not a good judge of your performance, but you are your own judge. You need to judge your performance. You need to see where you are lacking rather than asking other people to counsel you or to find out ways to improve your performance. But you need to see. And the only way that you're going to see your performance is through these tests. Okay. So like this week also we have quite a rigorous, syllabus to be covered. This week, ensure that you're covering. We'll see that we are covering each and every topic of the timetable uh, through the session. I said that we would refrain from holding these discussions on WhatsApp because it is very time consuming and it takes a lot of time from us. But we'll try to hold live sessions for you guys over the internet, and the faculty who are not able to come online with us will be holding WhatsApp discussions, or we'll be sharing a certain PPTs with you for you to prepare. Okay, so guys, that is one thing uh, about the mock test. Please ensure that you're attempting it, because that ways it will waste our efforts, it will waste your efforts to cover the syllabus also. Okay, uh, guys, I was also asked by some of our members to share with them some 2 monthly plan or something like that. So guys, I am personally not preparing the timetable like that because that might put you guys in a lot of pressure that we have to do this, this, and this. So I am giving you this bits and pieces to actually ensure that your interest is still there, and you keep on asking us what is coming next, what is coming next. So we'll try to update you timely. Okay, and we want you to follow it. If you have any feedback for me for any of our sessions which you feel were not good, you can always send me personal messages. That will actually help us to improve the quality that we are providing to you. uh, I am really thankful you all to show your trust in us, that you are joining our group and you are staying with us and taking interest in all the discussions that we are holding on daily basis. Therefore, it is our accountability to you guys also that we produce quality stuff, quality sessions for you to take so that you enhance your preparation level. Uh, okay, guys, this is it for me today. This is what I wanted to discuss with you all before we start our next week's journey to cover more of the current affairs. Sorry, more of the syllabus. I would again say that do send me messages so that I can handle more of your queries. Do send me your feedback so that I can improve on it. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Have a good night and please come prepared tomorrow for the session. I would wait for your suggestions for the timing. I'm still counting on you guys to send me the suggestion for a feasible time for you guys. I understand the session can be stretched a little bit, so let's just it's my take on it that we can hold the session at around 8 o'clock, so that even if it is stretched, it is not stretched more than 2 hours, so we can finish it by 9:30 or something. All right. So I'll wait for your replies and your messages. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Have a good night and all the best for your preparation.